Does it work? So I will keep that short, and I will do this really for 2 slides that we have. And it has actually also been very well set up by Mac and Stephanie and Dr. Bernard and all of you, so we don't really need all this. What I want you to tell you is, if I can get this to work. Which one? Okay. I want to tell you why we do what we do and how we are going to do that. So I hope that, I hope that when you come out here, you understand how we come to the things and how we prioritize what we do, which is what you asked. So what we want to do, of course, we want to understand what the disease is. We want to find a therapies and eventually a cure. And we want to do this and we want to do this accomplished by doing 2 things, which is bring everybody together in a room, which we did today. We have basic research, we have you, the patients, we have clinicians. So that's how we want to do it. So when I started out 2 years ago, and we were thinking about what we're going to do, we had all these things that we could do in order to develop therapies. So it's a lot. And so to take a step back, you've seen something similar from Mac's presentation. This is where we go when we develop a cure. We ask questions. We will ask basic questions in basic research. We have a pointer here. No, okay, never mind. We ask. Oh, thank you. We ask, what is the disease? How does it look like? How does it work? What does it do? Where are the patients? How can we identify people? These are the first questions that we need to ask. And then we can ask in the next stages, how can we tweak it? How can we change it? And then we come into what Mark had more described in preclinical. Is it,
why is he not in bed? Why is he out of here about this? Well, sometimes my fucking brain just goes.
Anyway.
I don't know what it is.
And then we can ask, is it safe to try it in humans? And then we go into clinical trials and post-trial monitoring. And what I also want to do, take you away from this slide, there is really three groups that need to be involved: the basic scientists, the clinicians, and you. And you have a function as patients at every single step of this way, and you have influence and you have power, and we need you. So this, when we sort of looked at that picture, where are we in 4H? We are somewhere here. We have, as Ian told us, a good understanding of how polymerase 3, what it does, but we don't quite know how to connect it to 4H. Not yet. We have the gene, we have the mutations, we have some idea what the natural history is, but not really, as we know how we find. We have not found everybody yet. I don't think that we have found all the patients that are out there. So we are lacking there, but we have with gene therapy an approach that is at least promising to try. So I will show you equipped with that thought, we did our first roadmap, and you know this, and I'm going to skip it, but this is when we wanted to do all. And we have, in the meantime, figured out that there's only 4 of us at the foundation. Somehow our clinicians don't seem to have more than 24 hours in the day, even though we try to do so, but so we need to focus. And these are really the 3 streams that we want to focus on. The first one, sort of the purple one, is really focused on patients understanding you. It's a natural history. We are trying very, very, very hard to get a natural history study underway, a more collective one. There are little ones out there, as you heard, or there are attempts, but we want to have something that is unified and that has that everybody can access and that is really big and where we collect everybody. So this is one of the things where you as patients, you are the ones who are central to that. The other thing is, this is data collection and natural history. And the third one that we're just starting to think about is how do we improve diagnosis? How do we make it easier for physicians to diagnose? How do we make sure that everybody knows about it? All these things. So that is sort of one block. The second one is the gene therapy program, and I won't go into that into detail, but that is another big thing that we're trying to fund. And as you have heard, we have some mice and some vector, and hopefully, if all goes well, then we can step through that. And the third thing is really that I realize we need to build our community. When I started, we have a good community of researchers, but we need more and more and more. And so this is the third thing that we're going to do. And hopefully that will spark work groups in all the other therapeutic approaches and the areas that we have not focused on yet. And that is really all I want to say for now. So if anybody has questions. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. So the question was, I'm just gonna repeat. Yeah, no, but it is, yes, I know where you're going. How about, if it's not that easy for you to go through this journey, if you don't have insurance, if you live somewhere where you don't have access to care, and things like this, and this is a huge thing, that there are resources out there. There are people who pay for genetic testing, and the question is how to gather these and we are trying to gather that information. And Juan, you wanted to? Yeah. So there are, Rare Genomes is a project that can give access to sequencing, to whole genome sequencing. Invitae is trying to have studies where they test you for free, but you have to provide them your data. But there are ways to, well, we are starting to have ways to do something. Yes. Yeah. So, but I'm keenly aware of that. I just tried to. Any other questions? I know that, for instance, when you get to the point where you have drugs and where you have global companies coming in, Genzyme, or what is now Sanofi, had a big program providing access for patients to their medications, but we are not there yet. but yes. Of course, Genzyme is Genzyme, or was Genzyme. It was a company that I highly value. But anyway, so there are paths to do that, and people are thinking about it. So it is, but yeah. Well, with this, I think I'm going to turn it over to Shannon, who will tell you now that I've told that if he had heard from us, yes, we're trying, but it's a long way out and you have to be patient. I'm sorry, I hate to say every time you have to be patient, but Shannon will tell you what we are doing, what can be done right now today.